Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video. It's been a little while for me filming personally because of this situation. I just have this here just for the purposes of saying like my hand movements are still a little awkward. I'll talk about it more in March, but yeah, I sprained my wrist. So anyways, that's why it's been a little bit hard for me to film, but not important. Today, we are continuing our journey with the top tarot trumps by originally created by Musings by Masha, slowly going through every single card in the major arcana, showing our top 5 favorites, okay? And I am a little behind, so at the time of me filming this, there has I still needed to do the Emperor and the Hierophant. So, yep, I'm combining both of them because I'm behind. Okay. I'm going to start with Emperor, and I have to say I was surprised by how many Emperor cards I actually liked. And that's not to say I'm somebody who has issues with the Emperor. I really don't. I don't. It's just that when people show depictions of the Emperor card, sometimes they're just very boring and very static. And what I mean by, or actually, let me backtrack. What I mean by that is more that it shows the Emperor in a depiction that's not that far off from something like this. So this is from the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot. I actually do like this Emperor card because I do like a dwarf, the idea of a dwarf being the Emperor. But I'm showing this card just to show you. Most of the time when you see the Emperor, it's something like this. They're on the throne, right? Their emperor is there. They look very like kind of severe at times. Okay. This emperor is fine, but it's not where I fully see the emperor. So when I was doing my search of emperors that I actually liked, I found myself gravitating towards emperors that I thought embodied more of the energy for me. Okay. And I think the most traditional idea of where I see the Emperor kind of falls within these 2 cards. So this one is definitely still one of my favorite Emperors ever. This is from the Yonasa Yaus Tarot. I have the 7th edition. That's green. I think there was also a purple one. Anyways, this Emperor is really cool. I just like the look of it. I'll be honest. This is one of my favorites because I like the look of it. I also, though, like the idea that this is an emperor who has fallen to time, but it shows a traditionality. It shows like what we typically think an emperor would be, an outfit. They have just slowly passed on. So, but in the same vibe is also this emperor from the Tarot of the Divine. This is King Arthur. And to be completely honest, the embodiment of King Arthur and everything he stood for in those ways, in my mind, is the ultimate emperor. This is the emperor. This is the emperor. Like, I don't know how else to say. Like, if you wanted an emperor that shows more balance and not just strict and whatever, King Arthur was supposed to be that. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I hear like sirens outside, so that's probably going. Yep, just getting louder slowly. Anyways, these kind of go together because this emperor looks like the once and future king, and King Arthur is the once and future king. So I guess that's why I like both of these. Okay, probably why I like both of these emperors. King Arthur is my emperor. He is just, he is fair, he is so many things. He's a myth, he's a legend. He shows how people should be, you know, like if you're going to have quote, quote, masculine traits, more balanced, okay, than some of the more aggro emperors that we see. Another emperor I really liked in searching for emperors happens to come from the Caratarts Tarot. This emperor, I really like him because he is confident. He is powerful. He's not on a throne, as you can see. He's literally wearing like what looks to be like a 70s disco go-go kind of outfit here. This emperor is just happy and strong and confident and knows who he is. And even though he's silly, this emperor is more silly and goofy, which is kind of why I like him. The other reason why I kind of like him is that undeniably, he still knows what the fuck he's doing. And that, I think, is a big epitome of what an emperor is. It's like, they know what they're doing, they figured it out a bit, and they're going to help you figure it out too. So, I just like him. He is so interesting. And then these two were very interesting, how more naturey they were. So, sorry, I'm like hiccuping here. This is from the Tarot of Echoes by Anaturian. When I saw this emperor for the first time, I kind of gasped because this kind of depiction of an emperor is kind of more what we see get the treatment for the empress. The empress is someone that we know already has very strong nature ties. But why I like this emperor is that, like, why can't the emperor also have ties to nature, just in a very different way? His ties in this emperor is that he is literally a part of the land, the mountains, and what looks like the rivers or the lakes or the seas, whatever you want to put there. He is just as old and immovable, right? But he is sturdy and he is strong and he is there. It's not like, I guess, the nature, maybe you would think with the Empress more with growing things or with trees, where it's very like, is it gonna work out for you or not? You know? But this Emperor, these are things that are always here. These are the things that we shouldn't take for granted. And I just like that this Emperor is depicted in such a way, you know? That this is foundation, literally. Our earth is our foundation. And so in that way, I think this, I don't know, I like this Emperor and its depiction. But this one, also from the Goblins and Gardens Tarot, what I really liked about this Emperor is that this shows, this card, in my opinion, sorry, why is it not focusing? There we go. In my opinion, this Emperor shows all the traits. Okay, I don't know why it keeps like zooming in and out. Maybe I'll do like this. Okay. It shows all the traits of the typical Emperor card, but it's showing it in such a calm, like, collected way. This, as you can see, is like some kind of goblin who made a garden in the middle of the goddamn desert. Look at, there's like literally like dunes and stuff in the background. And yet this goblin has figured out a way to not only organize all these plants efficiently, right? They also have all the tools of their trade in the background, perfectly done. And they've also are there getting it done and doing it themselves and enjoying their time. But they've also done this growth in the harshest of climates, even amidst like an environment that others would say is chaotic. I feel like that's what the Emperor is about putting things in line in a way that helps other people as well, you know? We like to, I don't know, there's a lot of people who like to diss on the Emperor card, but if you saw the Emperor in this kind of way, showing almost traits that you could say are very Virgo-like, I think we would reevaluate how we feel about the Emperor. And so I think these depictions, especially for me, really help kind of set a different tone for the Emperor card. He doesn't just have to be rigid and boring and whatever you think. They in general have like so many different interesting qualities to what can make a good Emperor. And with that, I also think there are some interesting ideas you can get into with the Hierophant, okay? There is a card. I'm actually going to talk about both of these in one. Sorry, this is slightly cheating. Actually, give me a second. Do I like this one or this one more? Actually, do I like this one as much? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm fine. Maybe this is fine. Maybe this is fine. Okay, I think this is fine. I'm going to go with these. Okay. Sorry, I was like slightly questioning my choices here. I have a few different Hierophants. The Hierophant is very different. Traditionally, in a lot of tarot depictions, the Hierophant is basically rewritten as the Pope. And it's funny because one of the cards that I picked today kind of harkens back to the idea of the Pope, because it literally says the Pope. This Hierophant is from the Tildwick Tarot. I happen to have the 10th anniversary edition. That's why the backs are like this. This is why the cardstock's like this. I think it's been slightly different in different iterations. But anyways, this Pope, this Hierophant, the reason why I like this Hierophant is because it shows, I guess, some of the tradition involved in the original Hierophant card and why it was the way it was. But it shows it in a very not in your face way. It is still very grand. You can see things like, look at, there's like literally like a crown up there. The Pope looks very serious here, But this is also, at the same time, this Hierophant is also in a state of decay. And so I kind of like that, which is like really interesting. Really interesting to say, because I like the fact that this shows the line between if you are being too much Pope-like, too religious and fanatical in your way, you are destined to fall away. You are destined to have people who turn away from you. And if you don't change your beliefs and adapt with the time and always be too tradition, even like the gloriousness of this Pope, you are going to fall by the wayside. And I kind of like that the Tildwick Tarot shows that, is that there's a warning here. Be careful how fanatical you are with that Hierophant energy. So I like the subtleties with this one, basically. And I think that's why I like this Hierophant card so much. The next two I'm going to go into are very similar with each other, which is, I guess, why I like them so much. But it's both of these. This one here is from the Shadowscapes Tarot. This one is from the Paulina Tarot. And they have very similar depictions of their Hierophant. I guess we'll start with the Hierophant from the Shadowscapes. I really like this Hierophant because it shows the idea of, if it's not so much the religious aspects that we get with the Hierophant normally, like if you choose to ignore that side of the Hierophant, this is showing that same traditionality in a very different way. This is showing it in the way of nature, right? The one thing that is constant and ever-changing and not usually going out of the box is how the nature of trees and other things grows. And so I kind of like that this, I'm going to like zoom in a little bit. This like, this tree entity, like a nymph almost, is basically, you can still tell he has a lot of like wiseness to him, and others would see him as very, like a leader, because a Hierophant is like a leader of things, whether you choose to see that or not. That's okay. But I just really like this depiction of the Hierophant showing like their more traditional side, but it's in a more nature way, which is in the same way why I like this one from the Paulina Tarot. This one, though, what I like about this Hierophant, like this probably is the favorite Hierophant, is that this one shows a Hierophant teaching others, being that teacher. They have a whole following. There's even a book here that the tree is holding, but then it's showing off in the top. And it's ready to help their disciples, but it's not in a confronting way. I think that's why I like about this, is that the Hierophant is a teacher, but these people are here and they're excited and they're willing. They're not like being confined by this Hierophant, which is what's kind of always shown too, is like the Hierophant just being like and I'm going to talk down to you. And it's like, no, this is showing an actual teacher here. So these two kind of have the same energy, but I like both of them for depicting that energy, I guess. Maybe this one I like a little more just because it's showing that teacher side. And I just realized that none of the other Hierophants I'm going to show the main thing, though, I really like about a Hierophant. So if I remember, I probably won't, but if I remember, I want to insert an image here of one other Hierophant I guess I will call an honorable mention. I really like this Hierophant card, but I don't own this deck anymore, and this is the Brit's Third Eye Tarot. The Hierophant from that deck is probably still up there in one of my top Hierophants because of the fact that it shows a very, what I think the Hierophant is kind of card. It shows the little the hand holding, but it also shows the person with a box literally around their head. They are inside the box. They need to break out of that box if they want to move forward and have real progress. So I like that Hierophant a lot, but I don't own that deck anymore. So I'm going to show some other Hierophants. I like the idea of this Hierophant. This is from the Spacious Tarot. This Hierophant is basically showing Stonehenge, and I just think that's really cool. It's very different. It shows tradition and the oldness of places and sometimes what that Hierophant represents, like, hearkening back to oneself. That is shown here. I like it. It's done in a very subtle way, showing, again, more nature. You could almost say more pagan-like ideas. And this last Hierophant I just thought was really freaking cool. This is once again from the Carrot Tarts Tarot. This Hierophant is so cool. This Hierophant also kind of reminds me of, it kind of almost reminds me of what you would think the Hangman would be like. Interesting connection there. But this Hierophant is trying to gain knowledge and grow by literally becoming one with the earth, right? Their hair is becoming roots, or what, not roots, but plants offshooting into the sky. But they are deep in thought, this Mer person, Hierophant. But they are also deep in gaining knowledge in their own way. And once again, there's another siren. I don't know what is happening today. Anyways, I really like this Hierophant too, because it's just so different. Oh my God, that is so loud. I'm so sorry. Okay. It's just so cool. It's a different take on it. It's the fact that you are still always gaining knowledge, even as the Hierophant, That's a really interesting to think of. And in that way, I don't know, I'm really digging these. These are my current faves. I feel like if I tried to do this again months from now, I might give you even different answers about which Hierophants and Emperors are my absolute fave. But for now, I definitely like these. So if you were watching that long, thank you for watching. And I will just see you all again next time. Bye.